the primordial age of cinema, when color first erupted, filmmakers knew that color has an overwhelming effect on the reception of the audience's emotions towards certain colors, and thus it tells a story within itself. Color within films either serves the purpose of association, to link certain colors to characters or ideas within a film, or for transitional purposes, to represent the shift in a character's thought process throughout the period of a film. Possibly one of the best uses of associative color is in within Lynne Ramsay's 2011 film, We Need to Talk About Kevin. This movie is about a violent, misunderstood teen named Kevin. The very undercurrent of this film is violence and hatred, and it's represented through the color of red, to symbolize blood when violence is barely even displayed. This opening scene represents the mass bloodshed that Eva's son will commit in her future. Red is the most saturated color throughout the film for a reason, and thus creates a violent tone through visual aids. This saturated red consumes Eva. This subconscious element of this film that is masked by suburban objects provides a greater psychological view on the film. In this shot, with every arrow that Kevin shoots, it smash cuts back to Eva, who is entirely consumed by a saturated dark red, thus overwhelming her with guilt, for it is Eva who takes the responsibility for his actions, having ignored his violent nature till he grew up. These close-up shots with a shaky camera shows that Eva at these angles furthers the anxiety and the distress that is caused from Kevin's massacre. The best utilizations of color transition is Bernardo Bertolucci's 1987 film The Last Emperor, that shows the representation of the changes made in Emperor Puyi's life from China's transition to communism. Red is symbolic of life and death. Here, Puyi attempts to commit suicide after being taken as a war criminal to prison. However, it is also symbolic of life and new beginnings, as he starts his life with his wife, Wan Zheng. In accordance with the color wheel, orange follows, and is representative of familial and domestic bonds, as he is parted with his mother. Yellow follows, as Puyi becomes emperor, representing awareness of his situation as he matures with puberty, symbolic of youth. However, then we see this again as Puyi revisits his throne in the Forbidden City, representing the regression of his character. This shot is met by the isolation of Puyi from others by sitting symmetrically on the throne, completely surrounded by yellow, and juxtaposed by the tethered green garment. The color green is the last color in which Puyi latches himself onto, and this represents his comprehension of his surroundings. As blue comes, this color represents the young emperor's freedom and his newfound knowledge as he looks forward to the future. Finally, the film ends with Puyi, who's engulfed in violet, which is the full balance between passion and reason. It is the very diffusion of knowledge and represents the cyclic nature of life. Mr. Nobody is by far one of the best modern-day uses of both associative and transitional color. We see young Nemo in this scene, saying hello to the different primary love interests that he has, who are correctly paired with primary colors. Yellow for Jean, blue for Elise, and red for Anna. These colors are associative and representative of the relationships that Nemo has with each girl. However, this is also a transitional color that is fostered by the alternate lives that Nemo can see. Symmetry plays a large role in this film, as you see it transition from red to blue, and finally to yellow, contrasting the different lives that Nemo has. Yellow, as I said previously, is associated with Jean, in which Nemo is living a comfortable, luxurious life. However, this yellow denotes an absence of passion and love in their relationship, relaying a tone of caution in Nemo's life by which he is hanging onto by a thread.
You've always been elsewhere. Do you realize how much you've hurt me?
Blue is associated with Elise, who is burdened by the ailment of mental disorders and depression. Nemo, in this relationship, engulfs himself in this toxic relationship that is emotionally manipulative.
Excuse me?
In this shot, Nemo is completely consumed by Blue, and within this frame within a frame shot, he sees someone else in the mirror that is not the person he wants to be in this unhappy lifestyle where he is taxed with her depression. Finally, Anna is associated with the color red, which is symbolic for the passion and the love between Nemo and Anna. In this shot, there is a minute amount of red in the scene, as compared with Nemo's experience with Jean and Elise, because of his desire to grasp onto her free spirit and tether it to himself. But the reality is that Anna is just always out of reach. The crash between these two unifies them as one body, as dense imagery surrounding them elucidates the claustrophobia of their relationship.